for Jeff. Start in the front here.
Hey, Jeff. Welcome to the playoffs. Are you, in May, when we got to kind of know you a little bit, I don't know that any of us thought that we'd be having this conversation. Is it kind of a pinch me moment? Has it been for the last week or so?
Yeah, it has and hasn't. I think I've been asked that question a lot. I think, early on in the season it was like, all right, I'm back. Like, let's, see where this season takes us. Like, obviously I put the work in to get back here. Now, let's see where it takes us. But I think as the season went on, obviously, pitching in a little bit better situations and kind of earning my way into those. And now it's just like, let's go. I don't think it's really pinch me anymore. I think it's just, I'm ready to roll and ready to see, what the postseason has in store for us.
When did the staff sort of inform you what your role would be? Because even, 4 weeks ago, we didn't know who was going to be doing exactly what out of the bullpen. When did you know what your role would be? And can you just sort of describe what it was like on Saturday night coming in for rain?
Yeah, well, leading up to Saturday night, it was kind of almost like written in the stars with the way I was being used, the last couple weeks of the season, where it was a lot of, dirty innings coming in with guys on base, just doing my best to strand those runners and get us back in the dugout. And then on Saturday night, and I'm sure, the story's out about Topper coming out and telling a bunch of guys, hey, let's be ready early tonight just because we have the off day coming up. We have the ability to be aggressive with the bullpen. So, him telling us that, obviously that's, what you're looking forward to, and that's what you're being prepared for.
In the back, Alex.
Hey, Jeff. Pitching in the postseason is new for you, and I'm wondering if you've leaned on any teammates or coaches or anyone to kind of help ease that transition.
Yeah, definitely. Craig's the easy one. Obviously, he's been there, done that, done it for so long at the highest level. And he honestly, like, he has the same, mentality as a lot of the guys in the bullpen, which, we're all out there kind of keeping it loose, not really, pressing until we have to. That's, kind of, I feel like what's made us really good is the fact that we're loose out there. We're not really pressing and looking forward to stuff that might not happen. We're just reading the game, and when that phone rings, we're all locked in, ready to go.
How do you guys keep things loose in the bullpen?
Well, honestly, a lot of it is not talking about baseball, because that's what's going to be your stressor there for the next however many hours. No, for me personally, I like to just normal conversation, talk about the kids, talk about anything else, because if you try to stay locked in for a full 9 innings, it can be mentally just draining and exhausting, and then you set yourself up for failure because you've been thinking about stuff that's going to happen 2 hours from now all day long. So talk about whatever, football, kids, family, life, all that kind of stuff.
In the middle, Corey.
You mentioned the dirty innings, and Rob constantly talks about you as like the right-handed reliever they want to go to with men on base. In half your appearances this year, you entered with guys on base, and your numbers are pretty much identical. Just, is that something that's always been the case for you, and why do you think you had so much success in those instances this season?
Well, no, it hasn't been the case for me, I don't think, because I'd never really, worked my way into pitching into situations like the ones I'm pitching in now. Cincinnati was kind of, garbage time innings. Colorado, I was a starter for most of the time, didn't really relieve that much. But yeah, I mean, found something that I'm good at, and we're kind of riding with it right now. I think, obviously the first few times, if you succeed in it, they kind of, they roll with you a little bit, and you're like, all right, well, let's see if you can keep going. And for the most part, it's worked out this year, so happy to do it.
Tim?
Jeff, so far this postseason, your teammates have referred to you as Hof Daddy and the Garbage Man. Do you have a preference on your nickname?
No, I don't really have a preference. The Hof Daddy thing was actually something that Nick had for me in Cincinnati. But no, I mean, they're just going to call you whatever they want anyway. So, I mean, that question doesn't even need an answer.
In the back, Destiny.
Jeff, can you talk a little bit about your splitter when you started throwing it, the development of the pitch, and just how much of a weapon it has been for you?
Yeah, I actually started throwing it back in Colorado. It was a pitch that we implemented because my changeup wasn't very good at all. I spun it too much. It really was just like a BP, a batting practice fastball. So we needed to find something that we could kill spin with, and that ended up being splitting the grip that I had in my hand. And then we started seeing a little bit more movement, a little bit more soft contact. Like soft contact rates started going up, and you know, through the years, that was probably 2019 when I started throwing it. You know, Cincinnati ticked up a little bit more, and then once we realized how well it was going to play with the added velocity on my slider, that's when it really, you know, kind of took off. And now it's, you know, the slider and the splitter are kind of, you know, same velocity, and basically the hitter just has to decide which one it is, and one's going to turn left and one's going to turn right.
In the front, Scott.
Jeff, just following on the question about dirty innings and your success with stranding runners, why do you think you've been successful at it? Is it a mentality thing when you come in? Is it a stuff thing? Why do you think you've been successful at being able to play that role?
I think it's probably a little bit of both of those. It's definitely, I mean, I wouldn't be good at it if I didn't have the stuff that I have. I also don't think I would be good at it if I wasn't ready mentally to go into those situations. I think the big thing for my success this year has just been trying to pound the zone more. Not necessarily, you know, nibble at the corners in the zone, but just like throw everything in the zone, and therefore make the hitter make the decision. You know, is it going to stay up? Is it going to go down? Is it going to turn left or right? And I think once I, you know, started doing that and taking that from outing to outing, I realized that, you know, the success was coming much more frequently, and you know, here we are, and that's still, you know, my game plan.
And we'll finish here on the right.
Hey, Jeff. When you come into those dirty innings, we all know how important defense down the middle is. You've got Johan Rojas in the outfield. What type of confidence does he instill when he's flying around out there for when you're coming into those situations that you're in? Yeah, so much. Knowing that, you know, that big chunk of the outfield, if nothing else, is under wraps, and you know, nothing's going to fall out there. It's awesome. And honestly, I'm not out there ever really, you know, trying to shy away from contact. Like I said, I'm pounding the zone. If they do put it in play, great. You know, if they miss it, that's awesome too, whatever. But when you have guys like Rojas and Stott and Turner up the middle, you know, Bomer's been so good at third this year and first. You know, I think it just makes it, you know, it takes a little bit more stress off you. And you know, whatever, you know, put it in play, don't put it in play, it doesn't matter. We're going to get you out.
Great. Thanks so much, Jeff.
Thanks.